Well, hi and welcome to Ali's Self-Sufficient. Yes, as you can tell by the way I'm clothed, it's winter. It's about 10 degrees now outside here, and which is why I'm looking all rugged up. But I thought I would harvest the last of my yams, or oca, and share that with you because this is the time to harvest them. So I'll just show you what they look like, and I'll point the camera down while I'm harvesting so you can see the glory of me digging them up out of the ground to see what we've got in these two tiny little pots that are actually left. Right, so the first one has a few weeds in it still, but it's this black pot, so let's have a look. Let's dig those weeds out of there. Put them over here. Let's see what we've got. You can just see the ochres are just about worn down, and they're going to be probably small ones in these pots, I think. Oh yes, here's a couple of tiny ones. So I keep these tiny ones because I'm going to reuse them to reseed more oca. And as I've said previously, these are part of the oxalis family, so they grow like blooming weeds once you've got them, but boy are they nice roasting. So let's just get down in here and see what we get. Oh, lots of spoils. Okay. Some of these little ones are going to be seedy ones that I'm re-putting in for seeds, but some of those bigger ones there, they'll be all right for eating. Here we are. Right, that's that one. All done. Okay, and then we've got this one. Oh, look at that. There's heaps of them. So, our yams that we harvested. Now, just to give you a little footnote about yams, I've got them over here and I've washed them down. Now, these are not the yams I'm going to use to cook something with right now, because yams actually contain a thing called oxalic acid, so that's what we harvested. And they just need to be put on a plate and lied out in the sun to disperse the oxalic acid out of them. I mean, you could probably eat them like that, but if you ate too many of them, you might get a bit of a crook tummy. So you want to get rid of the oxalic acid. So I just spread them out on a plate, put them in the sun for about 8 days, and then I can store them away. And they're a great storing root vegetable, so you can actually store them and like canned potatoes or kumara. And then these, I've just harvested some little baby carrots, which is like basically thinning out the carrots to let the other carrots grow bigger, and I'm going to use them now in a yummy breakfast. So what we're going to do is down here, I'm just going to tilt this down, is I've got a selection of stuff I've picked out of the garden. So here is some, this is the purple variety kale. So I've got some kale, some baby kale, a couple of silverbeet leaves at the top of a celery, some parsley, some of last year's garlic out of the veggie garden, and some of those yams which I've just chopped up into small pieces, and some baby carrots. So that's going to be the basis of my breakfast, but I'm also going to use some pepitos or pumpkin seeds as well. Right, so I'm just heating up my pan here, and into my pan I'm going to put a little bit of coconut oil, which I really prefer for cooking all round. I've got a wee chunk there, so I'll just pop that in, let that melt down, and I do love some greens for breakfast. I mean, how often do we go to the cupboard and we grab bread and then we think about what we're going to put on it? Really what we should be doing is grabbing a handful of leafy greens out of the garden and thinking, what are we going to put with that? Right, so I'll just melt that around. And what I like to do is put the pepitos in first. So I've got a little jar of these, great little protein source for vegetarians. I'm just going to put a handful of pumpkin seeds in, get those cooking. And then I'm going to put in my slightly bigger vegetables with my garlic. So that's the yams and the baby carrots. And of course they don't take very long to cook. And it's all out of the garden except for my pepitos, which I'm going to look and see if I can grow the pumpkins that the pepitos come from this year, so that I can actually harvest my own pumpkin seeds for cooking, because I do use them a lot in cooking. I'm just going to cook that. I'll just bring over this and point it down at the stove. There we go. I'm going to cut up my leafy greens and put that in. Here we are. Right, stir those around. Okay, now I'm going to just put in my leafy greens, and it's great because that little bit of celery leaf and the little bit of parsley, you know, that helps to flavour it all up too. You can use your vegetable garden, your herbs to flavour up your food, so you don't need to put any additives other than, you know, basic salt and pepper is the way to go. Alright, and it's crackling away with the greens. And then you can use soy sauce, but I like to use this little Maggi sauce which I have. I'll put a little dash of that in it. I found somebody else that uses that actually. They call it shaky sauce. Well, they called it shaky sauce. It's kind of a Swiss condiment actually. Get that a little stir around. And then what I'm going to do is just serve that up with a little, wow, I wish I had smell cam in here, it smells gorgeous. Serve that up with a little chip chop of vegan cheddar on the top. There we go. Yum. And that's all it needs. So turn that off now. Now I'm just going to serve that up into the bowl. It's a perfect way to start the day. Crunchy and delicious and nutritious. Yams, greens, baby carrots, garlic, and pepitos or pumpkin seed. Every last bit out. There we are, there's my little bowl. Right, so now I'm just going to top that with a little bit of vegan cheese chopped up, just because I like a bit of that. Just gives it that kind of cheesy thing. I'm not missing cheese at all actually, because I'm really digging the vegan cheese. I use the Senzo dairy-free cheddar. That's the one that I really quite like. And they also make a herb one, which I love, which is hard to come by because I think everyone's buying it out so quickly. So I just need a tiny slice of that. I find that lasts me really well. And then I'll just chop that up. And there it is. That's my breakfast. Leafy greens, garlic, yam, baby carrots, pepitos, and a little bit of vegan cheese just to top it off. Yum. Thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you grow some yams or okra as well in your garden. And it's so great to be cooking and harvesting from the garden in winter, because I think with COVID-19 I put so much more effort into the garden over winter. I'm really excited about the spring coming to see how the garden will be with all the effort that we've actually put in over winter. And so, yeah, so you have a grow of yams. If you like the channel, do subscribe, hit the red button on YouTube, and join the Facebook page. The link is down below. And also on Patreon. I would love if you would join my Patreon and come along and be part of that as well. And I'll see you next episode. Bon appetit. Goodbye.